Welcome to the Entrepreneur Power Hour. This week we're going to boost each other up and motivate each other. You might ask, why is this important, or why does anybody need this? And it's sometimes rough on the way to your goals. Sometimes you even need to have somebody see the goodness, see the potential in you before you can see it in yourself. And I know I've had that with my mentor Marcia and Chris and several other people in my class as well. But don't just take my word for it. We have Carl Davis, Chrysler Kuba, Doug, Doherty, and Marcia Sortino. I want to hear from you guys about how others have boosted you up or how you boost up others.
I love that part of that. I love to boost up others. I really do. I mean, I feel that when you give somebody else the enthusiasm, like sometimes I get so empowered by, I sit down around at the store and I socialize with the storekeepers, whatever, because I live above the store. And people come in, hey, what's up, man? You know, that's what I say to them. I don't care who they are, you know, but every time I do, there's been so many people that say, you know, you empower me. I never realized I did. Well, just by speaking out, speaking your piece, being funny, saying some wisdom or what have you, I empower people to like me. And that's something that isn't called, that is part of this discussion. I love lifting people up, making them look so good. My problem is I don't do it to myself as much as I should do it to others. I begin to be a people pleaser, and that's where I'm in the university. I want a balance. I want a balance because we don't have balance much in this world. And that's my take on, I just love to be able to help people, and that's why I share and do whatever it takes to make people lift it up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to add to that about encouragement because I can relate to Carl. Like, I love making people feel good. I love encouraging people, telling people how awesome they are. And I just like making people feel great, feel valued. And it's not that I have trouble doing that for myself because I can honestly, transparently say that I'm pretty good at doing that myself. But the thing is, sometimes it's just not enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not. Like, actually, I had a pretty rough couple of weeks about a week ago and last week. But if it wasn't for people, close to my circle that were real with me, because I think sometimes the encouragement is not just people that make me feel comfortable. Because the same way I analyze deeply and I'm very self-aware is the same way I could easily lie to myself and go, no, I have the right to be angry. No, I have the right to have this attitude. Rrr. I have people that can be real with me. That's encouraging. Sometimes it's not even comfortable. Be like, hey, Chrysler, get your stuff together. Like, okay, you're right. So it's always awesome to have people around you that are always going to keep it real and also comfort you because the journey gets tough. It's life. Anything you want to do.
You're talking about when somebody needs to be told, drop and give me 40. Instead of just saying, wow, you're looking really good and doing a good job of getting the weight off, aren't you? When you know they're eating Cheetos on the couch, right? Being a yes man is not being an encourager. But sometimes if you're busy encouraging others and lifting them up, you don't have time to get down on yourself. There's something to think about.
Yes.
That's what I have today. Does everybody feel encouraged? Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel encouraged to be here,
Honestly.
to be able to be free spirited, to say pretty much what I want to say about the subject matter. I mean, just like a long time ago, I don't know if you can still hear me, I was out on a boat. I was out on a boat with somebody, and it was my dad, and we was in a boat, and like the water was only like a couple of I mean, the boat was like only a couple of inches above the water level because it was so loaded. And the guy that was sitting beside me, he says, when the going gets tough, the tough get going.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That empowered me for my whole life. It's come to the point, if it's to be, it's up to me. It's to be, it's up to me. But no, it's not that way, because if it's to be, it's for the team to help us all to become that great. It's not, I mean, there's no I in team. So it goes to that subject matter. We all want to help each other become that level. And that's why I'm here. I feel the vibes. I feed off the vibes. And I just love the people that are here. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. And I think that's pivotal, that you don't be a yes man, or you don't just be the guy who's their friend all the time. Like with Pay Me What I'm Worth, I'm always being challenged to, not uncomfortably, but I'm always being challenged to explore something maybe I didn't go before, maybe look at a road I haven't looked before. And it really, the way you look at that dynamic of life. And at the end of the day, it's really coaches and people, like I remember my workout buddies would always tell me to do a little bit more, do an extra rep, do an extra bench press, do an extra whatever it is. I know you have it in you, when I wanted to quit. And now that I'm bringing people together to tell them, hey, you can go after your dreams. I know everybody else is telling you you can't, or at least some people are. But this is what these hangouts are really about. For that young entrepreneur, that young guy who just started a business and is afraid that it's not going to work out. They want to be the people to boost him up, or her.
Okay, good stuff, Grant. Good stuff.
What do you think, Marcia? Or anybody else? It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, I agree with everything you said, honestly. And what's also encouraging too is just conversations like this and hangouts just like this. Kareem, remember, like literally 30 minutes ago, you know, when you called and we had a nice little discussion. I was walking to the gas station, and I was also doing some reflecting, you know, just thinking about life as a whole. And then he called, and I picked up, and we kind of shared the same ideas that I was just talking about. And the reason why that gets really encouraging is because you know that someone out there is on the same journey you're on. And that's very, very important, because you know, I don't always get, people don't always get where I come from when I talk about entrepreneurship. I'm sure we can all relate to that, especially when you're starting up, when you're in the startup. You know, people don't understand where you're coming from. They don't get it. You know, they go, oh, that's cool. Well, yeah, do your thing. And when you're kind of like, when you're kind of out of it, the last thing you want to hear is other people's ideas about why you should not be going your route. You know, but when you have discussions like this, you know, like a little group hangout where we just discuss, and you know, like Carl said, you know, you just feed into it, and after the call, it's like you're so rejuvenated, you know, you're able to keep going. That's actually one of my challenges. Like, I need to start finding accountability, and I need to start being around you guys more, and start being around more people that are doing more than me. That's something I've kind of been fighting. You know, not out of fear, just I don't know what it is. You know, that's something I need to be around, people that are living it to the fully, and not be afraid of negative feedback. You know, because that'll help me. Because when I'm around people that make me feel comfortable, I'm not growing all the time. You know, so that's a little thought I had about that.
Well, that reminds me of a friend of mine. Everybody's running around, his family, his friends. They're all saying, he bought this piece of land, and they're saying, oh, you're 57 years old. You're too old to buy a piece of land and cut the wood off it and put whatever on it. You're too old for that. He's got so many naysayers that says he can't do it. But he comes to me, and I says to him, it's going to be a difficult journey. but a little at a time, you will do it. You will do it. And a little at a time, and I've picked him up a couple of times and taken him to his place so he can cut off some wood or whatever, because that is what I do. I might be sitting in a power chair. I might not be able to walk. That has nothing to do with it. I can empower him. I can give him that ability. I can take him there. I can make that possible. So where everybody else saying, his dad included, you're not going to do it. His brother, you're not going to do it. You're too old. Blah, blah. It's just a bunch of rubbish. And so you have to sit there and say, I don't care what they say. It's going to be an uphill journey, but you can do it. That's what I tell him.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can hear you.
finally. Wow, okay. Well, here's the way I do things, basically. I know that I can help people social media-wise. I know I can help them feel empowered social media-wise. I know I can help them, you know, with posts on Facebook and really attract people to my page. I know how to do that. And because I know how to do that, it's been easy for me to just send them a message and go, hey, thanks for liking my page, or thanks for liking my post, hey, we haven't talked. And I think the key for many people is listening. They just want to have somebody, another network marketer that they can connect to and really just be real with. You know, and people are missing that basic idea of what happened to us sending messages to people and go, hey, we've never talked. I'd love to talk to you one day.
We have Agnes came online. She might enjoy getting in on this. I didn't know.
Yeah,
Should I send her the link? Or
sure. Yeah, definitely. Anybody is invited. But yeah, I like what you said, Marcia, because I honestly just wanted to be heard. And now that I have a voice in this and pay me what I'm worth, and I'm helping other people get their voice, that's really powerful. Because I think at the end of the day, somebody just wants to communicate their thoughts, their ideas, and let it be known that we care about you and that your opinion, even though I may not agree with it, is at least allowed to be heard and allowed to be expressed. And that's part of being an entrepreneur and part of freedom.
definitely.
A lot of times it's not even what you say to people that encourages them. It's just being there. You know,
Exactly.
if you're willing to give your time and just show up, even if you don't say a lot or even if you don't say the right thing, just being there still lets them know that you care, lets them know that you're interested enough in whatever they're going through, whatever their activity is, to take that time out of your day. And so many times that's encouragement enough, you know.
Totally agree. Like I was actually feeling, and I still have a little bit of a cold. I'm getting over it. Not a big deal. Chris had to work late, but I'm still like, well, okay, I'm sick. I could just, stay in bed all day and complain about it. But I'm going to jump on the show because somebody someday might watch this hangout and go, oh, wow, these people really care. He showed up. So maybe he's not the best motivational speaker. Maybe he's not necessarily the president of a company, and I'm not any of those things currently. But I can at least say that I'm here, I'll show up, I'll try my best to get the work done and see what the result is.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, that within itself is encouraging. You know, like the fact that the show runs every Saturday consistently, like whether I'm on it or not, or whether some of us make it or not. But when it's consistently there, it really shows, wow, Like, these guys really want to put their voices out there and really encourage us to stay on this journey. And that within itself, is encouraging. Now, one thing I like that Marsha said was sometimes just, calling people, not calling, but talking to people on Facebook that you never met before, but that are entrepreneurs as well. And I think it's funny because nowadays, it's like when you send somebody a message and go, "Hey there, how you doing?" It's like, "What do you want from me? Okay, what is it? Are you gonna sell me something?" It's like people are just so tight. They're so they're just so ready to give a reason for why they shouldn't establish a relationship. And I think it's encouraging to be the opposite. Not just to talk about it, but to live it. Also show people you care about them. Like, yes, I sell product, or yes, I make videos, but I love people. So let's get together, let's hang out, let's talk. Because a lot of people are not doing that. So I think it's our job, if we know it, live it out. Just love people and not being afraid of rejection. It is what it is if you get rejected.
I think the fear of rejection is worse than getting rejected. I mean, think about this so many times. People, and that's another way you boost people up. You tell them to go do it. You tell them to go to pursue that relationship, that business, whatever it is. Because people will get so scared, they're like, well, what if this happens? What if somebody doesn't like me? What if I say the wrong thing? I'm like, dude, what happens if you don't do it? You're in the exact same position. And even if you do something stupid, which, I've done a million times, at least you'll learn from it and come back better.
Mm-hmm. I think adversity makes you stronger to become better. I mean, if you didn't have adversity, I mean, think about it as a child. I mean, you fall down. If you didn't get back up and try again, would you ever walk? Probably not. It's just like falling off a horse. They always say if you don't jump back on that horse, you'll probably never learn to ride again. And most of the time it's just the fear. I've been thrown once. Oh, I'm so scared. I don't want to try that again. And I think that's what it is a lot out there with people. They don't know how to handle when you do become compassionate, because there's so many people that really aren't compassionate. There's so many lovers of themselves, and that it isn't even funny. Because that's all they care about is themselves. And then you get the others that are out there and say, well, I care about every single one, and I want to help just as many as I can, because at the end of the day, I look myself in the mirror and I say, I love you, Carl Davis, just because you do what you do. Just because you do what you do. Empower people to get up and say, I'm doing it. Love to hear from Cindy. You out there?
Cindy,
Right.
Yeah, actually, I would like to hear from Cindy.
Hi, everyone.
Cindy,
Hi.
There she is.
Good call. Yes, I've always wanted to help people and encourage people. I love helping both people and animals, and that's really what I like to do. I like to encourage them. And we had a really good book in our the other personal development group we were in. We could still use that book to help people. With that book about success in 10 steps. Share that book with them, see where they're struggling, and how we can help them. I like what everyone had to say. It sounds really good.
how do you just, without books though, how would you just like help somebody? Let's just say, Cindy, I'm having a bad day. I don't need help in a business sense, but life's just rough. What do I do?
Okay. Well, you think about the things that are good in your life and what you're grateful for. You look at the positive, and then the negative things may not look as bad. And you give it time. A lot of times things aren't as bad as they seem either. So you just You just have to give it time and maybe wait a bit, and things look better the next day. Like the good book says, joy comes in the morning.
Hmm.
You'll find a way to solve the problem. What I do a lot is my faith helps me out a lot. I pray, and sometimes if someone's having a bad day, you ask the person. They just want someone to listen to them. So you're there to listen to them, find out what it is, and see if you have a solution for them.
Very good. Great, great.
Very. Yeah, I was thinking sometimes when it's like family, I have the tendency to go straight to the solution. Like my youngest sisters, they're 16 years old and they're twins, so there's all kinds of issues going on in school and whatnot. So it's so easy for me as the older brother to be like, well, okay, let me sit you down and let me tell you something about life, okay? Here's this, here's that, here's the solution, boom. And I mean, come on, first of all, they're girls, so they're, you know how the emotions are. But I've learned, especially like this year, our relationship has been really awesome. But if Brandy's having a bad day, even if she doesn't want to tell me, it's fine. I'll be like, okay, you know what? Let's go watch a movie. Let's just go hang out. Let's go to the gas station, get you your favorite snack, and we'll relax and watch your favorite movie. And we do that. And it's so much you can't even describe like just how encouraged she is, and even how encouraged I am just by that act. Because sometimes explaining somebody, and even for me, you could tell me the truth, of course. Like, well, okay, you got to be positive, you got to be that, and that's good. But sometimes just, I think Doug said it, just be there. Show it. Be there, make them feel good, and just listen to what they have to say and just have a good time. It's another great way to encourage people. Really, truly loving people. That's what I will call it.
Well, I found actually another way. That's a great way, Chrysler. Don't get me wrong. Confident, Cindy. That's awesome. But I found another way, and that is through meditation. As strange as that might sound, but picked it up through a motivational morning motivator show, and they have this one by Abraham. I believe it's Abraham. It's called Letting Go. Now, that's how I can release some of my pent-up energies because I'm putting it into another mode. I'm entering into my inner kingdom, if you will. When you go into meditation, you take that time to go into your inner kingdom. Most people don't even realize it's there. They just go floating on by through their life and try to please the whole world, but then at the end of the day, they didn't please themselves mentally. They didn't feed themselves the right energy, if you will, or vibrations. And so that's my take on it, is meditation really will give you that time to release. And there's all kinds of different meditations. And that's why I love Dada so much when he came on. I just wish he would come back. The man is just wisdom beyond, because he has touched into the inner part of his being where people usually don't go to because they're too busy pleasing everybody else and their own outer self shell, skin, as Kareem would say, in that aspect. So I just wanted to throw that in there, encouragement. And encouragement is encouragement.
Man, I like that. I like that a lot. And I have a question of like, what do you mean by because I definitely agree with the meditation. I meditate myself. Like, but what do you mean with like when people get caught up in pleasing others? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's like sometimes we get into this people-pleasing mode that we think more of the other person's well-being than we begin to think of our own.
Okay.
And so that's why the meditation gives you that space, space and time in which you can know you. And I also learned this from the university. It's also taught in the university that meditation And Dada said he does it 3 or 4 times daily or whatever, because that's the only way you can reach into that inner self, because how you going to ever get there from here? It's like Maine can't get there from here. I'm just kidding. It's a saying about Maine. Maine can't get there from here.
Crazy. That's good though.
Oh, well, I had to say it. I got to keep the energy flying, you know. It's just me.
Like, no, actually, like as you're speaking, I was really I was really intrigued by a lot of things you were saying, because man, I think I forget that sometimes. You know, I'm not necessarily. I mean, I love making sure people are taken care of, but you're so right, Carl. Sometimes you get so caught up in other people's energy and you make it your own, and you're trying to please everybody. It's like, well, let me make sure I'm taken care of first. Because I think days where I'm really, you know, when I'm praying and, you know, I'm meditating and I'm releasing the energy and I'm being grounded, I'm able to take care of people from a place of attachment. Instead of like being all, well, you know, I need to make sure you're okay, and then I'm displeasing myself. But when I'm just grounded, like hearing people out, sort of taking care of them, but also going, well, they're going to have to figure this out on their own. I did my part. Everything's going to be okay. I'm not God. They'll be comforted in their way. But right now, I did my part, so we can now let it happen. I like that. That's really good.
It's really good too, Chrysler. Awesome stuff.
You just made me think of something there, Chrysler. Is that one of the hazards that you run across, or you have things that trip you up when you're trying to encourage and help other people, is sometimes you're telling them what they want to hear rather than what really does boost them up.
Exactly. Another one of those things.
Like that.
Because there's times, I mean, many times, just like you said earlier about sometimes just telling somebody like it is what they really need to hear, rather than what they, you know, just saying, oh, everything's good. It's not always everything's good. A lot of times the problem lies in the person that you're trying to lift up, and they don't see that, you know. And when you're
Can't sugarcoat it. Doug. Can't sugarcoat it.
Right. You have to come from a place where you're being genuine about where somebody is trying to use your example, to use Chrysler's example of, you know, people thinking that you're trying to sell them something, and I can't understand that, because I can't imagine anybody thinking a guy named Chrysler would ever try to sell them anything. But, you know, if you're trying to teach somebody how to sell something, or you know, or network marketing is obviously, you're trying to teach people, well, the best way to connect with people is not to try to sell them your product right off the bat. You know, well, if you got somebody that all they're interested in is oh yeah, but that's, you know, I don't do that, but then you know good and well that they're going and they're turning around and they're getting excited and they're pushing that really quickly, then you gotta tell them, it's like, well, you know, honestly, that's what I'm seeing you doing. So if you could, you know, maybe hear what I'm saying to help you by telling you what I'm seeing and what you know other people are seeing from you. You know, so sometimes it even sounds like a criticism, but you're actually encouraging them and trying to help them learn how to do what they're doing better.
Right. Oh, you mean like constructive criticism?
Yeah.
I get you on that. That's what it is.
Constructive criticism is actually encouraging.
Exactly. That is a really good point. You know, that is a really good point you just made, Doug.
Very.
Okay, better get off here now while I'm heading. No.
Nah, that really is. I mean, the truth will set you free at the end of the day. You know,
right?
I think a big enemy really is comfort. I mean, look at our society, especially a lot of people my age and my generation. We like to be comforted. We like for people to tell us it's going to be okay, and it's not. We like people to tell us, go ahead, live for now. You don't have to invest. You're young. You're this. You're that. But if you just tell it straight up, and it doesn't have to. You don't have to be like excuse my language, like a douche about it. You know, you can say it in love and gentleness, but you have to be real. Like, hey, look here. Don't spend your money on this stuff. Invest in this. Save your money. You know, people, because that's how I had to hear it, you know, with love. And also, there were times when I was just too careless. And a good thing I have great parents. I said, hey, Chrysler, get your stuff together. Stop doing that. It's like, okay, you're right. I'm gonna stop. So I
That's good.
definitely.
That's good.
That's a really fine line too, isn't it? I mean, sometimes it's a really tough walk to do and get people. But you just said a perfect example of saving money. And obviously you're going to have to tell people, well, listen, if you really want to get where you're going to go, you're going to have to give up stuff.
Right.
So many people don't want to give up, but if you say, but listen, if you can give up a little bit now, you don't have to stop going to every concert or stop going out and hanging out with your friends, but instead of doing it 5 nights a week, how about you break it down to 3 nights a week and use those other 2 to do something that's going to move you forward, so that 10 years from now or 15 years from now, you didn't give up everything all the way along, but you gave up just enough that now you have the means to do all the things that you would have never been able to do another way.
That's good.
That's awesome.
So it takes it from being criticism to being, okay, you can still do this, but how about if you were to take a little bit of your time and do this? It's encouraging and still giving them a life lesson at the same time without sounding critical. Not always easy to do.
Sometimes people need tough love. Sometimes you got to throw down and be like, hey, you can't go buy, I don't know what you're designer clothes and get all the stuff for your business. You need to pick. Or you can't buy tons of video games or computers, and sometimes you need to pick. And what's more important, a little satisfaction right now, or sometimes sacrificing till you get where you want to go?
One thing about that, Kareem, is depending on who it is you're talking to, people have different personality types. So some people, and I've got a great story for this. Went back when I was really young. I actually joined one of those traveling magazine crews, that used the same pitch they used 40 years ago. Hey, I'm just here to see you for a minute. I'm here winning a contest, and if you could buy some of my magazines. So, anyway, but I was on one of those, and I saw the way the manager dealt with the different people coming in that weren't making their quotas. And one that really surprised me, he had one guy that was been with him for a long time and was one of the top salespeople in there. But if he came in and short of his quota, this guy would literally just skin him alive. I mean, yelling at him, pushing him hard. Enough to scare me, thinking, my gosh, I don't ever want to come in and do that. I'd walk. I'd quit.
That's not the way to lead.
This guy,
that's not the way to lead.
But with this particular person, that was the only way that this guy would go out and get his sales. And he did. He left there, came back an hour later, had over his quota because of the way the guy treated him. Now, it wouldn't work for most people. Most people would say, screw this, I'm gone, instead. But with that particular guy, that was how to get him going. So, you're going to find different people are encouraged in different ways, too.
I agree to some extent, but fear motivation only works till the incentive is there, or till the fear runs out. So if I say if you guys don't get on here, I'll come, and do this and that. And you might get scared for a while, but eventually you'll go, well, the fear's worn off now. Kareem, who are you to tell me? I think it's better to boost people up, maybe give them tough love, but boost them up. I don't know if fear is a good long-term business solution.
No, and I agree. And he didn't use that method on anybody else. It was just this one guy's way of being motivated. Very, very odd. I know. Like I said, it really surprised me. But I use that as a really, brash example of how different people are motivated in different ways and encouraged in different ways. Because I would never think of doing that to somebody, Oh, you got to get out there and you sell. You go knock on every door out there until you do it, you loser. I couldn't do that, but this guy actually...
No, I hope not.
No way. But this particular guy was actually...
overly pushy. You mean get out there and do it?
Right, but he did. You're not, and he was his top seller. So, obviously that's the way to get the guy motivated, But no, I agree with you. I think you'll encourage people, or you'll get more results out of people encouraging them always than you will on brash and hard like that.
It's that old saying, you can get more bees with honey than vinegar. Sorry, Cindy.
Right.
I agree. I mean, you really could only end up discouraging people more if you're brash and come on too strong in a bad way. You might upset them instead, and then they'll fall backwards instead of forwards. And we were talking about saving money, having to make some sacrifices, and a lot of economics comes into play here. I took economics in college, and sure enough, if there's some things that you need, then that money's going to go towards what you need then, and then you're not going to be able to have money for this other thing maybe. Every month we have to budget our expenses, and that's basically what it comes down to. Like for me, I'm getting more concerned about when I'm going to be able to retire. I'd like to be able to retire in 5 or 6 more years from my state job. And so I'm going to see my New York State life insurance agent, like I was mentioning before. I have to get all this stuff in order, so I have some money for retirement, so I'm going to have to put some money away if I finally want to be able to retire. And you have to sometimes make those sacrifices. And this month, like I need some shoes and boots and sneakers, so I'm going to have to spend money on those things versus having money for other things. You kind of just have to pick and choose sometimes. I might not be able to get all those things right away. You just have to.
Oh, we lost Marsha again. I was hoping she would get in here again.
I think she'll be back. She just had connection.
Yeah, she does have that connection issue. Skype probably.
But anyway, back to the topic. Yeah, I like what you were saying, Cindy, because a lot of people economically don't want to give up stuff. Sometimes you have to. And sometimes you need to encourage people that if you want to get to where you want to be, you got to give up some of your stuff now. That's like I've friends who want to watch like sports all the time or play video games all the time. You're not going to be able to do that and to have necessarily the career you want. Not saying have a little fun here and there, but sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice going partying out on a Saturday night to come to the power hour or to go to your meeting or to do whatever it is you do.
Right. What I find around where I'm living, I have a niece that's running around with a boyfriend, and I have a few other people. They're homeless because of the choices that they make with their money. If you're going to choose a habit over a place to live, that's not a good subject matter. You got to have a cigarette, you got to have a beer or this, that, and the other, and it's because of improper management why so many people fail, because they don't manage their money and put it in the right spots to be able to make more money. And that goes to the storyline of between the poor, the mediocre, and the rich people. Well, the poor folks, they buy things most often because that's all they can afford, like yard sale and Dollar Tree and stuff like that. They can't afford much more than that. So they buy cheap stuff. And then you get the middle class people, they're out there working, but believe it or not, they're in worse shape than the people that are poor. Because they're saying, oh, I need this truck, I need this house, I need this new boat. Next thing you know, they're paying more payments than they're earning.
Wow.
And so then they're in worse shape now because they didn't do something right in their money management. And then you turn around and go to the next level. The rich people, the reason why they keep getting richer because they invest in things that are going to make them richer. As with business ops, you invest in something, you put the work in it, you do it once, and you succeed, and you don't have to do it again. But the world don't get that classification. They don't get that in their brain. I got to go to work. I got to punch that proverbial time clock. And you know what? Long time ago when I first started network marketing, a guy named Frank Hansen. He had this guy, he went out and he had this job. Well, he said, I got to go get another job. It's still not making ends meet. Frank looked at him and he says, well, I'm going to ask you a question. You can get 5 jobs, but you still might not make it ends meet. And then in the end of the storyline, where's your residual income? You don't have one. Just like I have a friend of mine, he was great at going out on the scallop dragger. And he worked until he couldn't do it no more, cutting scallops on the boat. Made hundreds, $200,000 in a year. But you know what? When he couldn't work that boat no more, he had to go back into the bloodworms, making very little money, and in the end killed himself because he overworked himself doing something that he wasn't accustomed to doing and making a little tiny bit of money. And in the end of the storyline, oh yeah, he's got a whole bunch of property and stuff. Didn't do him much good because it's not residual income coming back in it up. And so that's the reason why entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs. Because they're looking to reach that golden ring, and they will reach that. And to reiterate something about what Cindy said, if you would like to retire, you put it in a stronger word. I will retire in 5 to 6 years. Because the more power that you put into your statement, the more you're going to get out of it. It's just like the episode, and not going into religion, about lukewarm and cold and hot. Okay? It's kind of funny. I was watching this video today, and this lady was trying to sell this old woman's house. And I was watching it, and the old woman was questioning her about her faith level. Okay, her faith level. And, well, anyways, she said, well, I go to church, but I really don't do it. I'm kind of like warm. So anyways, the lady went over, I got to serve you some coffee. So she ran over and got some coffee. She got the ladies some room temperature water and made her coffee with it. And she gave it to her. And she made hers nice and piping hot. Well, the example of the whole thing is, she was asking her the question, where was your faith level? And then she showed it to her as she was saying it was lukewarm. Here's lukewarm. Here's your coffee at the same temperature. And then the lady, she says, do you like room temperature coffee? She says, oh no, the old lady says, I like piping hot coffee. So to set the example is, where do you put your level? Where do you put your level of anxiety? Where do you put your level to reaching for that? How high are you reaching? Because if you're not reaching as high as you could be, you're not going to reach that golden ring in your time periods. You got to keep grabbing and saying, I want that, and I'm going to go for it. And teamwork will make the dream work. If we all get together, we can rock the world. Just saying.
Wow. It's hard to follow up with that. One thing you talked about in motivation that's interesting is that some people want to retire, and then when you really ask them how bad do you want it, they kind of want it. As in, they'd like to have it, but they're not dedicated. And there's this guy named Eric Thomas. I don't know if you guys heard of him, but he has this hard quote, and he gives a little tough love. He's not necessarily... He is a happy guy, but his biggest thing is, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. So you're if you're not on the phone, you're not always goofing off with your buddies, you're not out drinking, you're doing the things that people would consider maybe boring or not fun. You're doing stuff people don't want to do for a few years, so you don't have to, go back on the boat, or you don't have to dig up bloodworms, or you don't have to work at that job you don't like, because you've decided to make a commitment to just grind and keep working to your dreams. And I think sometimes we need to do that. How bad do you really want it? And then that's a really good way to motivate somebody. But I'm gonna let Marcia talk a little bit if she's able to.
It's not off here. Oh man.
Yeah, I think her interwebs. It's technology.
I think
So-
she's going to come right back on so she can talk when she first connects.
Right.
But yeah, motivation and encouragement. Yeah, there's two forms of that. There's self, and then there's team. It's real encouragement is a team sport. I mean, it's always. I mean, you look at so many different programs, different things like. I mean, even if you look at addiction type programs, it's always getting a group of people together and sharing their pain and sharing their stories and encouraging each other. You know, and then there's the other side, which is self encouragement. And if you can't self motivate, then you better be on the team. If you can self motivate, then you have to be like you guys were talking, and you have to be really serious about it. I think Will Smith said if plan A is strong enough, you don't have to have plan B. Plan B just
Awesome.
Plan B just gets in the way of plan A, right?
Awesome, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But most people don't have that kind of level of self-determination and self-motivation. And even if you do,
Because they haven't had to.
even if you do, you probably don't have it 100% of the time. And that's where
Right, because they haven't had to. That's why. They haven't had to, Doug. That's why.
Yeah.
When they got to do it. Like with me, if I fall down, I know that I'm not going to lay there. I can't just get back up. I am not going to lay there. One way or another, I am coming back up. Regardless of how it happens, just like I've fallen down, I have imitation hardwood floors, and I can't just get back up. So I have to take my power chair and work it over to my couch, pull myself up over the couch, straddling it, because I'm like 6 foot tall, work myself up onto the high spot that I've made for it, and then slide myself onto the chair. But if I would just say, I quit, I'm just going to lay here, I'm done, that's not going to get me back up. That's not going to get me back on my feet, or into my chair, or into the place I want to be at. As long as I don't grab a hold of that ball, how am I going to go with it? I ain't going to be able to take it nowhere. So.
Yeah, and I agree with never giving up. But a lot of times when you're just having trouble motivating yourself, that's when you go to groups like this.
Right.
And you say, hey, I don't have to do it all myself. I've got other people that'll help encourage me.
And we were talking about plan A's and plan B's. If you work a plan A, you don't need a plan B. But the point is, you want a plan B because you don't like plan A, though. We learned that before, too. A plan A might be you're in a job you don't like, and or else you're afraid of getting laid off, or, whatever the circumstances might be. So you're looking for the plan B. You want to work the plan B because you don't like plan A or it's not working, though. So I don't know. I thought someone said if you work plan A, you don't need plan B. But I think we want plan B, though, a lot of times. So to get rid of plan A. We learned that, remember?
No, I like that. But what he was saying wasn't really you shouldn't have like a plan B. It was more of like if plan A is like this 10-year vision you have, you go towards that. Like you didn't really mean it in the sense that plan B, okay, plan A I work this job, plan B I work that job. and then I can't have a plan B. I'm gonna stick to that. It was more of like a long-term type, because that's the way I look at my plan. It's like even right now, I was supposed to go to the school, my second year, but we didn't have enough finances, so that's already, that's out of the picture. But I'm still on my journey. That's still plan A. Now, technically speaking, it's a plan B because, okay, we're not going to the school anymore. Now we have to go the other way, but it's still according to the long-term vision as opposed to the short-term. If that makes sense to me. Hopefully I make sense.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was just taught it a different way in my other program. That's all.
Right. Okay, but it's all good though, as long as we get it. It's just different perspective, really. I mean, whatever works for you works for you. That's the way I look at it for myself.
Hey, that's what it is to be an entrepreneur. We all have a different perspective of it.
Right.
That's what it is, isn't it? I mean, Doug don't think like I do, and you don't think like I do. I mean, obviously, we all think differently. Isn't that what we was put here to put that different viewpoint in? It's like I have enjoyed every one of these viewpoints. Every one of these viewpoints has something that I've pulled a golden nugget out of. And like you said, you want the motivation, hey, you reach out to the team. I need a little shoulder to lean on, or can you help me do this? And then it's such a feeling when someone goes and has compassion and does that. It's like, wow, that's cool. I can really trust that person to help me when I really need it. And that's what it's all about. Empowering people is one of those things that we all need to do. Like, I think you did a great job, each and every one of you, and that's what I'm saying, encouragement, empowerment. Come back again so we can rock the world. Because when we start putting this out there and people are hearing our perspectives, they're going to say, wow, I like that perspective. I agree with that perspective. Maybe I'll tune into this and put my perspective in just a little bit more difference or whatever. So everybody's got a little bit more to say and a little bit more perspectives to add to the thing. I mean, it's awesome to have Cindy on here. That's a perspective. It's awesome to have you on here, and Kareem and Doug and whoever else, because it gives us a chance to, throw things out there so we can kind of like mull it over, like my grandfather used to say. He used to say to one of his old friends, "We're going out and we'll mull it over," he says. Well, that's kind of what we're doing. We're mulling over what we're up against, what our team is up against, and how we can help them empower to rise above. That's what I'm here for.
I like that. Carla's on fire right now. Carla's just spitting fire. I like that. So much encouragement right now, honestly. I had this other thing in mind. I think also this is not something that you would put on mainstream television or mainstream internet. One day, of course, the show's gonna get big, but this is not something for the majority of the people, because as much as we want to encourage, this is what I'm starting to learn. As much as you encourage people and show them love and go, come on, you got so much potential, go out there, start that business, or work that job, or go to school, or be independent. At the end of the day, it's about how much they want it. I'm here because I want it.
Right.
I've had many setbacks.
Right.
That you get up and you're here because you want it. You have your tough times, you have your moments, but you want it. You want it much more than you want to even breathe. So you're going to keep getting up. But a lot of people don't think, like you said, perspective. A lot of people, and we don't judge them, you show them love because it is what it is, but a lot of people that you're encouraging do not want it as bad as you do. They really don't. You can have the best program, the best training, show them all kinds of love and even fear, because somehow that works. But at the end of the day, it's about how bad they want it. It's all about the individual. So
right.
I'm on the show because I wanted to come on the show. I go to work because I want to go to work.
We'd miss you if you didn't.
Exactly.
We'd miss you if you didn't.
So appreciate it.
We'd miss you if you didn't.
Yeah.
Really.
Appreciate it.
Masha.
There she is. Hold on, let's put it
Can you
speaker.
hear
There
me?
she is. Yes.
You can hear me. Okay. Well, I
Marcia.
don't know what's
Anticipation.
going on.
Oh, I think that sound went off again.
What's up, Marcia? Can you still? Need to
Wow.
get better.
Yeah, she said something about Windows 10.
Oh yeah, that operating
Calm.
system's been out. It's not fully developed, so we need to encourage the people at Microsoft to develop that.
Yeah.
But
That's
I like what you said, Chrysler. At the end of the day, like I can sit there and like beat people, like just you need to do this. It's your future. You'll work for somebody and somebody else. And I've told this to people I've worked with, and they laugh. They're like, "Oh well, how many people?" And they always question, "Well, there's only a few people who do that, but they're geniuses. They're a." I'm like, Kareem, how many people really accomplish that? And I said, that's the people, if you have to ask, you're not one of them. The how many people are the most. But it's just the fact that you have to be that one person that says, I'm part of the other half. I'm part of the, okay, maybe I'm not a genius, but I'm part of the individuals who want to make a change, a real change, and are going to commit to it.
Had to put a light show on just to finish the show. Can you see the lights blaring in the?
Yeah, it
It's
looks like
called a sunflower. It does. No, it's a multi. It does multi-function. It's a sunflower light. Want to make it exciting? We want to end this call with rah, and let's take on the world. We can do it. We can make them empowered. Why is the lights bothering you?
No, it's fine. It's not bugging me. But yeah, Carl, I really enjoyed you and Chrysler. The input's amazing because I want to boost others up, but they have to do it internally. I think the motivation comes from when you see other people doing it, and you really can see that other people are, maybe they're not where they want to be, but they're getting there. They're taking steps every day. And to me, it's much more motivational to see the guy who's out of shape running on the treadmill and working out than someone who's already done it, because they're already there.
Right, right. Just like I love Marsha, and she's back on there. I was ready to give up Audacity. I hated Audacity. I hated editing files. I hated it. And you know what? Now it's a piece of cake, and I love it. And it's all because of her. If she empowered me to, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And I did it. And now I don't mind doing it. But I hated it when I first started. I don't know what Doug felt, but that's how I felt. I says, but you know what? Marsha says I can do it, and she believes in me. She's right there. So teamwork, dreamwork. Yeah, baby. You gotta love it.
She believed in you before you believed in yourself. And when I was first playing
Exactly.
guitar, I hated it too. I'm like, these bar chords hurt. I'm getting calluses on my fingers. This sucks. Why do I want to do this instrument?
Right?
And it's just like, well, try it a little more. Just give it a couple hours a day. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a couple hours. And then I'm in a band. I'm like, I got to buy more guitars. It's like a bad addiction. I'm like, this will be the last guitar I buy. 15 guitars later, I'm like, this is the last guitar. But it goes without showing that the thing that I hated the most, even public speaking, I didn't want to do that. I thought that was terrible. I thought like, oh, I got to talk in front of a bunch of people. This is bad. And then I did it for a while. I'm like, oh boy, there's a speaking event. Can I do it? I volunteer. So you got to get that person to maybe beat you with a stick a little bit metaphorically to just keep doing something you don't want to do. And then maybe now, Carl, you can go on Fiverr and be like, hey, I can edit Audacity files for $5. And people be like, yeah. And you used to hate it. So it goes to show. just motivate somebody a little bit more to do something.
Exactly.
Hey,
Exactly. Come out of that comfort zone.
think of every great underdog movie ever made. You know,
Awesome.
it's never about going and telling people you can do it, and just because you tell them, they go out and do it. It's because it's always about telling them, I believe in you, you can do it, and getting them to believe in themselves. That's when the magic happens.
Awesome. That's it right there.
Yeah, you can tell people all day, you know, I think you can do it, but until they start believing it themselves, it's useless. But once they start believing it themselves, they can accomplish things they never believed possible.
Totally,
So
yeah.
that's why you have the great coaches and the great inspirational speakers and the great presidents that there's these earth-shattering speeches that just motivate the entire country to move forward. You know, that's where that magic comes in, because they get people believing in themselves again.
Greatness right there. Mm-mm-mm.
You know, Kareem and I were actually speaking about that before we came on the show. You know, you're gonna act on what you believe, so that is true. I think the best influencers are people that actually let you see your value and help you believe in yourself, so that you can go out and do it. You know, like Doug said when I just came back on, that is true. You can't just, hey, you can do it, and everybody's gonna go out there and do it. I'm sure a lot of us wish it was like that, because it'll make the world a better place. And you really would. It'll be really awesome if people went out there and did it, and it's like, yeah. But, you know, even a lot of, you know, teachers from the past days, religious teachers, Jesus himself, he said many things, and a lot of us are still not doing it. You know, so it's a process. It's definitely a process. You know, but it's a good one. That's how you learn.
If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me, right? If it's to be, it's up to me. You're the one that has to make the decision.
Is that your meditation chant there, Carl?
Yes, it is. If it's to be, it's up to me.
that beats
because
all over.
and when the going gets tough, the tougher get going. That's my reroute of that one.
When the going gets tough.
When the going gets tough, the tougher get going.
That is true.
And they beat the odds.
I mean, that's how diamonds are formed anyway.
I'll tell you.
Entrepreneurs are out there playing the odd game. Let's do it. We play the odds, and we're going to win the odds because we say that we will.
Now, there's one more thing about motivation about motivating other people that does wonders for you. Is I promise you, any achievement you make on your own feels great, and it's wonderful, and you get, you should embrace those. You should pat yourself on the back and embrace that. But the first time you help somebody else really achieve something they didn't believe they could do, that puts your own the feeling you have from that is so much greater than the feeling you get from your own achievements. It's unbelievable.
That's greatness. That's good, Doug. You're good. You're right on the money too. We're rocking. Let's do it.
That's the way nature is, though.
There's a lot of valuable information. I'm happy with this.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the best of the best.
No
the cream of the crop. The best of the best.
We're like a train uphill. We start off slow, but as you get rolling, the momentum picks up.
Yeah. Fire.
I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. No, think I can. I know I can. I know I can. And I know I will.
That's right.
Period.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. And Doug, you have a lot of books back there. A whole lot of books. I'm curious. What are one of your most valued books over there?
Actually, I have a bunch of Stephen King. Can't beat him. I've got a bunch of old science fiction like Heinlein Asimov, all the old kind, Jack Tucker, those kind of guys. And I have a whole bunch of biographies.
Nice, nice.
I like
Nice, nice, nice.
Lee Iacocca and George Bush, and I like reading about people's real lives and their achievements. So, and then there's of course a bunch of Christian books on there too.
Right, right. I have a very small.
That's awesome.
My books. Let me show you my bookshelf real quick. I mean, I might as well. Pretty tiny, but it's getting up there. Make sure you guys can see here. MTV Cribs.
Brian Tracy, like it.
There it is. I just got this yesterday. No excuses.
Hey, there you go, right there, bro.
Read chapter 1. They had me really thinking.
Rich, you betcha.
They're making a movie.
I want to get asking.
They're making a movie.
I want to get asking and it's given. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get. Ask and it is given. You ever heard that one? Ask and it is given.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I gotta check that one out. I like books like that. It's pretty motivational.
When you go off into the idea of ask, if you think about, I'm not going into the Bible, but if you think about what is one of the key words, it was always ask.
Yeah, that's right.
Ask. Because if you don't ask, how are you going to receive?
Right.
Absolutely.
Ask and it is given.
You got to speak up.
So,
you got to ask what you want. You can't just sit there and expect people to go, hey, I have a feeling you want $1 million. I have a feeling you want that promotion. Isn't that right, Chrysler? Oh, how did you know? You got to ask. Even on practical terms, that's true.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Chrysler.
Yeah.
All those books you got over there, did somebody encourage you to read those?
Let's see. Yeah.
That's a good one.
See, this is it, because how many people would actually go out and pick up a book like that if somebody else didn't say, hey, to get after what you're wanting to get after, if you were to read this or you read this, it'll help you get there.
That's true. Every single one of those.
No excuses. No excuses, Brian Tracy. Come on. That book.
Matter of fact, especially No Excuses. My friends have been telling me about that one for about a month now. Because it's his copy, but he kept forgetting to give it to me, and I'll forget to ask. But yesterday, he made a detour. I was like, where you going? He's like, I got to get you the book. I remember, oh, finally. And I was like, there it is. But you're right. Yes, okay, Doug, okay. But that's true. I mean, I'm so thankful for people like that. And even the book you just suggested, Asking It Is Given, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Him, just explaining it again, it's like, okay, that's encouraging me to go buy that book so I can continue to grow as a person. That's the kind of people you want around you. It's very encouraging.
That's what you do. It's in PDF, but that's not the same as a book. I have the PDF version, and I've already read it, and it just touched me every step of it. As a matter of fact, I go on, like I said, the morning motivator, Tuesday through Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern. And that's the book that they're reading out loud is Ask and It Is Given. And she's hit on so many key points that kind of link right back into what we've been being taught in our university. Link right back into the same similar thing. Ask the universe and you're going to get. Because if you don't ask, how are you going to know? How's the universe going to know you even want it? I mean,
it's true.
All right.
It's just like so many times I've gone off. There used to be this place called recycling. And one time I needed a pair of boots so bad. It was like I was feeling the rocks under my feet. That's how bad they wore out.
No.
I'm going to recycling and I'm going to find me a pair of boots. I walked out of there with 2 pair of boots. Asking it is given.
That's true. That's so true. Man, I was thinking about that today, man. Like, a lot of people, I'm not just going to say people my age, but a lot of people in general just really don't know what they want. And I think that's the reason why they kind of just go with the flow. It's not everybody wants to be happy. Everybody wants to be their best self, but because you get caught up with the flow of life and work and bills and I want this, I want that, you don't really take the time to sit down and go, well, do I really want to work this job for the rest of my life? Do I really want to go to this university? I'm actually in a situation now where my mom is really like, no, if they said no, you're gonna go to that school then. And we kind of had a little it wasn't like an argument, but it was just like we didn't agree with
Debate?
each other. You know, I was like,
A
Mom,
debate?
yeah, like not really a debate because in her mind she was right and I was dead wrong. You know, but she's my mother, so good. But she was like, there's no way you're staying here working. No, you're going to school. You're going to go online and find a school. And I know she's my mother. She's just overreacting. But, you know, I have to pray on it and go, that's not, I don't want to go to just a regular school because I know the kind of degree I want. But also I know what I want for this season of my life. Now, I look at her as a mentor. So that's why in that situation I say, okay, Mom, I disagree totally, but let's talk about it later. But long story short, I have a lot of friends because their parents say, hey, you're going to go to this school, or you're going to play football, and we got the finances for you to do it, so you're going to do it. And then going to college, and by the time it's a 30 in college, they go, what do I really want? Because I don't want this. And you become numb. You know, you just get caught up in life. So I think it's really, really important to sit down. Even if it's self-development, even if it's an MLM company, reflect and go, do I want to keep doing this? What are some things I need to change? And not because you don't feel like doing it. That's inaccurate. You don't just stop because you don't feel like it. I think it's important to go, what do I want out of this? Okay, I don't want this anymore. It's not working. I want to try that. You know, it's very important. That way you know exactly where you're going. It can get people to encourage you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just some thoughts out there.
No, that's great. That's great because a lot of times people get so lost in, you know, just doing that they don't plan out how to get there.
Right.
Caught up in the moment. Caught up in the moment, and that's what I get, caught up in the moment. I get doing on something, and oh my God, I didn't get back in time to do something because I got caught up in the moment of doing something else.
Sometimes you got to back off and refigure how things are going to zero in on what you're trying to do.
Exactly. You got to make sure you clear out that time and say, I'm going to be on that call, or I'm going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it makes it real hard. Like, I apologize. I wanted to be on here. I made a promise to Chris that I'd be on here last week. Got caught up in the moment. You get off in the car, you're doing things with your friends. It's like, oh my God, it calls, and I can't get back in time to get that call.
Right.
You know, I mean, so, or
It's
that.
your birthday, though. So, like,
That was the 5th. I turned 55 on the 5th.
I have no way.
Yeah, I'm 55 on the 5th.
No, I thought you were like at least like 43, 44.
Wow. No, 9560.
Okay, awesome. You're still young. Get out of here.
Yeah. Well, I'm 55 young.
He better still be young. He's only 3 years older than I am.
I'm only 55 young. That's nothing major.
Yeah, 55 young.
So, you know, you can't go to the negative extreme.
That's barely middle age these days.
Really,
hey, 50 is the new 20.
There you go. I agree.
In that case, I'm 5 years old.
Well, that's okay. 20 is the new non-existent.
He's like, he's an infant. He's a little kid. He knows nothing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. My thing is, so many people don't come out of their box until they're very old, and then they say, "Oh God, I think I wasted all my life."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wish I was Chrysler's age and Kareem's and know what they do and know what I know and put it all together. Man, oh man, I'd be rich by the time I got where I am now at 55. I mean, really, it's just one of those things. You can't turn back the hands of time, but you can make yourself more better, more stronger than ever. It's just you have to put your mind into saying, I'm going to make myself there. Because if you don't do that, then the world would just dictate. And that's where I came from, a dictatorship world, like all of us have. You know, I was dictated. You can't do that. You don't know how to do that. Like my mom one time, he had his boyfriend, and he was going out on a boat ride. And the boyfriend got a little bit tipsy, and he couldn't do it, passed out. Mom says, no, what are we going? We're going to have to turn back, and what are we going to do? David's passed out, blah, blah, blah. I says, Mara, I can put that boat overboard. That is not a problem. Oh, no, you can't. I says, you want me to show you that I can? All right, go ahead. And I showed her that I could put that boat overboard. What I didn't know is the guy had the plug out, and it started going down, sinking a little bit. Didn't hurt anything. I just pulled it right back out. But I proved my point. She told me I couldn't do it. Don't tell me I can't do that. I've already done it. I used to back around a little 8-foot trailer. I mean, you know, a little tow-behind trailer that you load junk in. And that's what we was doing. It was junking, picking up scrap metal and stuff like that. But I was taught with a little Chevy Chevette short wheelbase and a little tiny 8-foot trailer how to back. Don't tell me I can't back a boat trailer that's twice as long as that. Come on, be reasonable. That was easy. But when somebody puts you in that box and says, you can't, where do you go with that? Well, for the longest time, I went and proved her wrong. I will do it. But in the end of the storyline, my self-esteem suffered.
Wow.
That's the problem with staying on the motivational side and the power side. Because if you let yourself slide back down that grade just a little bit, you'll be in the pit. So it's like, you got to put yourself on that motivational pedestal, and I'm staying on the top. That's the way I feel.
Your story is, Carl, you're a pirate.
Right?
I agree.
Don't like the box. Let me out. I'm like a cat. I'm going to claw my way out until I'm out. And now the freedom is coming to me. I've been able to learn my life. You know, so many years people dictated my life. And now it's my turn to dictate my life and own it.
Right.
And I do.
Carl,
And that's
you're
the
a true
reason.
pirate, man. You're a true pirate.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so aren't you. So aren't you. So aren't you, Chrysler. So aren't you, Marsha. So aren't you, Kareem. I'm not leaving myself in the I team, thank you.
You are, man. You truly are. You're willing to fight for your freedom, the world of freedom that's already yours. And unfortunately,
It's mine.
we live in a world where we do have to fight for it. But it's yours. It's
It's
already
my
yours,
freedom.
you know?
It's my freedom, and I'm going to own it.
That's right. Very powerful stuff, Carl. Very powerful stuff, man. And that's what the book.
So saying.
You're 55 years old and you're still at it. No excuses. So, does that give? What excuse do I have? What any of us have, if that's the case? And that's
Stand up, be counted. What did AC/DC say? What did AC/DC say? Do you
They
know
said
that
it's
group?
a long way to the top if
I
you
know
want
what
to
they
rock
are.
and roll.
You want to rock and roll. Isn't that what they said? And it also says, stand up and be counted for what you are about to receive. But if you don't ask, you can't receive.
And also,
Carl,
30
on fire
Ds,
right
30
now.
Ds, I don't want to hear about that. Hey guys, it's time for me to get out of here.
All right, guys.
All right, man. All right.
Hey, thanks, man.
Just to
Thanks for
close
the
it off,
wisdom.
I'm gonna do
I love getting on here. I hope I can keep doing it. Depends on my internet connection, but I'll get back with you guys.
Hey, thanks for
All
the
right, Doug,
wisdom.
Definitely, Doug.
Take care now.
Awesome,
Chrysler,
man.
I'll probably be giving you a yell, man. I want to talk to you some more, too.
Definitely, man.
All right, bud. Guys, take care.
All right.
Thanks, Kareem.
Later, dude.
Love y'all.
All
Love
right,
y'all,
guys.
bros. Dean.
Can I do a quick call to action?
Yeah.
Just going to share my screen here. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
I do.
Go to the entrepreneurpowerhour.com if you like this. It's how it's spelled, www. The Entrepreneur Power Hour, just like this. And then just put in your first name, your email address, and you can get updates about our show. I hope to see you guys next week. It's been a lot of fun. I want to take the time to thank everybody here and everybody who's on the show. Marsha, Chrysler, Doug, Cindy, and of course Carl with his awesome lights. And I learned a lot from here. We learned that you need to find the motivation within yourself. Sometimes you may need to make some sacrifices for that motivation. And truthfully, start early like Carl was saying, because you'll never know what you can achieve, and you don't want your life to go by you. So to the other entrepreneurs out there, I'll see you next week. Stay safe.